Ecom is unfair if you do it like this. This is probably the most valuable video I've made so far. And today I'm going to talk about two things. What is scaling? And in order to understand that, we need to break down market awareness stages and market sophistication. Better be prepared that this is going to be not like any other guru dropshipping video that you usually watch, because this one's actually going to help you. All right. First thing, awareness stages. A lot of people, when they think about scaling, they have no idea what that word even means. And I promise you, scaling has nothing to do with your ad account. All right, I'm gonna let that sink in, because scaling, most people think scaling is just increasing your budgets on Facebook, increasing your budgets on TikTok, kind of duplicating your ad sets, taking your best creatives into CBO. That's not scaling. Scaling is only speaking to more unaware audience sizes. So we need to look at and understand what kind of awareness stages there are. First one being most aware. Most aware people are people who know you, your brand, your product, the problem you solve, everything that you do. All right, they've already decided that they want to buy. They think you're cool. They just need a little extra reminder, a little extra push, a little extra discount, a little extra guarantee to give you their credit card. All right, that's it. That's most aware people. However, problem with that awareness stage, problem with that audience is the audience size. Audience size for most aware people is very, very limited. And if you've had creatives in the past that capped after a certain point, then you know now that creative was only able to speak to very aware audiences, right? At the end of the day, that's going to be the case. And if you've ever had an ad which performed for 3 days and then stopped, or an offer which just stopped performing, or just can't hold more than maybe 2K a day of scale, then you know that offer or that creative was meant for most aware people, or for product aware people, whatever. And so the thing is, you need to move down awareness stages and then take the people from there and move them up the ladder until they're most aware and until they actually buy. And that's a very difficult job. And the more down we get, the harder it gets actually to convert those people, the more marketing we have to do, and the more we have to think about how do we adjust our messaging. And so from now on, I give you an action step. Forget every winning hook that you know. Stop paying for Discord servers to give you monthly winning hooks or show you their winning ads. It's bullshit. It doesn't work. All right. If you ever had a POV hook, right? Most people think they just write POV. You found this for $19.99, and then that's a winning ad, right? And then it's just like a hit or miss. You don't want to throw noodles at a wall and see what sticks. You want to actually have a system behind it. And so before making an ad, I want you to figure out, what awareness stage do I speak to with this? Actually figure it out. And obviously for that, it's necessary to know your customer avatars, right? It's very important to know, for every different awareness stage, have different avatars, have different example dream customers that you know how to target them and know how to speak to them. That's super important. Most people think scaling is just increasing budgets, whereas it's not. It's speaking to more unaware people, which means, I'll give you another example, right? Most aware, below that is product aware. Product aware people are audiences who know the problem that they have. They know the solution. They, basically picked a product already. They're just comparing you with different competitors who are selling the same product, right? And so for those, you already need more marketing than for most aware people. For most aware people, you only need a little extra discount, a little reminder, a little bottom of funnel ad creative. For product aware people, you're going to need more marketing. You could do us versus them comparison, for example, right? The point is, you need to do more work to convert product aware people than most aware people. But there are more people in the product aware stage than for most aware. That means if you're able, with your ads, with your messaging, to convert product aware people, you're going to make more money already than most aware. That's how it is. All right. And then that also isn't really the biggest audience size. So once you move one step down, there's solution aware, right? Solution aware people, and that's a very interesting one, are people who know their problem, right? But they're looking at different products. So they don't know yet who you are, the brands. They haven't looked, they're not comparing competitors, they're comparing different products. So if we take as an example, the problem weight loss, let's say someone wants to lose weight. what do? All right. They start Googling different solutions. Maybe they find, sign up for a gym, or buy this ab trainer product, or buy this weight loss supplement, or buy a fat burner, right? They're looking at all these different solutions and comparing them and don't really know exactly how they're going to solve that problem. So obviously, if find yourself in this situation, if you want to scale to this awareness stage, what you need to do is you need to speak to them properly, which means you need to explain to them first why the product that you sell is the best solution. Then they're product aware. You move them up. Once they're product aware, right, you need to say why you are the best competitor for this product than everyone else. And then they're most aware, and then you convert them. All right. And this is how scaling works. Scaling is just, I have a concept that's working. Perfect. How do I apply the same concept to a more unaware stage? And so the next unaware stage from solution aware is problem aware. Problem aware people, if we stick to the same example, like weight loss, are people who look in the mirror. They know that they're not where they want to be at body-wise. They know that they need to lose weight, but they have no clue how they're going to solve that problem. All right. They haven't looked at different solutions. They don't know. All right. They're debating if they should even solve that problem. All right. This is where they're at. And obviously for those people, you need to do much more marketing. You need to first explain them why they need to solve that problem. And then once they're solution aware, they're going to need to do the same thing. You need to explain why your product is the best. Then product aware, explain to them why you're the best competitor, and then they're most aware, and then they buy. All right. And so obviously this is a much longer, much more difficult process. And yes, this is the reason why as you scale, you pay more for customers, because these people need more work also by the ad platform to find them and to convert them, right? This is higher quality traffic, which means that you're going to pay more for it. Obviously, this is how the ad platforms work. And then the biggest audience size is unaware people. Unaware people have no idea that they even have a problem. So you need to create it. This is how sales and marketing at their true core really work. You need to create a desire, a problem with them. So let's say they don't know that they're fat, all right? Let's say they're not that fat, but let's say as an example, right? They look in the mirror and they don't really realize that they have a big problem. So what you have to do in your ads is, hey, did you know that your wife will love you 30% more if you lost 10 pounds? Like, you get the vibe, like you get what I'm trying to say. So you would have to obviously sit down and find real good examples for this. However, it's very important then if you then that to convert unaware people, you need to create these desires. You need to create a problem, and then they become problem aware. And then it's the same procedure again. So then you need to move them to solution aware by actually telling them, how they need to solve that problem that you just created. Then you need to move them to product aware, which is going to mean you tell them which product is the best. Obviously, not only tell them, but this is all basically ads. So with different hooks, with different concepts, it's very difficult to do this. I'm not going to lie. It's not easy. And then you need to move them to product aware and then most aware, and then they convert. All right. And obviously, you cannot just send unaware audiences to your normal product page and expect them to buy. All right. So with the unaware people, it's a very interesting case because they need more. They need like a advertorial, a blog, a listicle, whatever. And then at the end of that blog, you send them to maybe even a quiz of like, okay, hey, find your best, whatever, find your personalized solution, and they answer some questions, and then they get the product page. All right. So you have multiple steps. You have a funnel before actually presenting your offer, before pitching them. And this is very important because those people are extremely cold and won't trust you for a bit. They have no clue. That's why when most people don't know what this is, if you aren't familiar with awareness stages, then how do you expect to increase your budgets? This is why certain creatives can't hold as much spend as other ones. That's it. It's not because your click-through rate isn't high enough, right? It's because that ad concept was only speaking to a maybe most aware, product aware, solution aware awareness stage. But if you want to get to the disgusting scale, and I'm talking $1 million months, I'm talking about real big brands, how they operate, they are converting unaware people. That's what they're doing, all right? And this is what's required for that disgusting huge scale. All right, because if you only speak to most aware people, this is why your ads die in a couple of days, right? There's no lucky day ones or lucky days or lucky creative tests and then they stop performing. Now you know why. Now you know they stopped performing because there were only that limited amount of people that wanted to purchase that in most aware. And maybe that ad would have done well if it was a bottom of funnel, a middle of funnel creative. But if you do not speak to unaware people or to at least like problem aware, solution aware people, that you can scale to high numbers. You're not going to be able to because your ads and your offers will just stop performing. And so the second thing which I want to talk about and cover is the market sophistication. And the market sophistication is basically how much competition is there, and hence how are they already speaking to the market that I'm trying to sell to. Which means, how are they competing for the market share at the end of the day? What are they saying, right? And so there's multiple things, multiple steps to this, but this is kind of you take it one step further for the awareness stages, and this is done actually before you even enter a market. So first one is you check out if you have a product that you have to sell, right? Let's say we're a brand and we have to figure out, obviously we're not dropshipping, we can't just switch to a different product. We have to figure out how we can sell that product. So there's a lot of ways that we can go about this. First one is obviously going to be, okay, what country is not tapped? So let's say you say, okay, US is completely tapped. I want to go to UK, to Germany, to whatever, like Australia. And then you decide to hop into that market. Now, what is the next step? You look at competition. You look at what they're doing. How are they speaking to their customers already? Is there just one who's saying, okay, hey, we're here, we're cool, and that's it? Is that all they're doing? And that's how they get all the sales? It's going to be very easy for you to just take it one step further and explain why you're the better option. That's the market sophistication, a very basic level. The best market sophistication, obviously, for you would be if in that market, no one was selling that product. That would be best case scenario, because then you can just go ahead, level 1 market sophistication, and just tell, hey, I'm here, I'm cool, and that's it. And you're going to get the sales, obviously, if you've done it correctly and if your ads are good and your offer is good. But that's basic level. Like, what I'm trying to tell you right now is very advanced, and this is what you need to think about once you already have the basics down, which is making ads, offers, all that kind of stuff. That's basic level. All right, to compete nowadays, you need to look at awareness stages and market sophistication too, right? And so once you do have, so let's say there are multiple people, right? Let's say there are multiple people and all of them trying to compete on, okay, I'm better because of this and this, and I'm better because of this and this, and they're competing on product. Well, then you need to come into the market and outbid them with your messaging, right? You need to outcompete them by having a more expensive offer, providing more value, and completely changing up the system. And so market sophistication is just how can I looking at what most people are doing and taking it one step further. And that's very important. That's going to be different for every single product, for every single market and country that you sell to. And this is something which I would 100% recommend you kind of go into. This is a topic which I would study the most about, because this is very, very important. And a lot of people, I've never seen anyone talk about this on YouTube, basically. All right, so keep this in mind for in the future. So keep this in mind in the future for selling every product. We need to define work as volume times leverage, which means how much you do times how much you get out of each time doing it. And so if you understand this, then you know that leverage is the difference between what you put in, what you get out. And every one of us trades money for time. It's just how much do you trade your time for, right? And there's no such thing as passive income. It's not binary. It's how passive it is. How passive is it? But there's no such thing as a complete passive 100%. That you don't have to work anything. There's no such thing. All right, there's no such thing as a complete passive income. And so don't get fooled by everyone selling you this stuff on YouTube, is how much money you can make in this short period of time, and all that kind of bullshit, because it's not true. It's not true. It's actually extremely difficult. Whatever business model you're in, it's going to be very difficult realistically. And so all you have to do really is regularly, weekly, monthly, whatever, sit down and look at your calendar. And this is why it's so important to track what you do every single day, because you just have to see, because you're going to see at the end of the month, okay, I spent 70% of my time doing this one thing, which makes me X dollars an hour, and then the rest 30 hours of my time, 30% of my time, I spent doing something which makes me double the amount of money. Well, then the next month, you should take that 30%, make it more. You should do more of what's making you more money, obviously, right? So you have to not only once, and this is really important, sit down and change activities that you do, because change just let us grow. Like if you keep doing what you're doing now, even if it works, even if you make money from doing it, then your results will not change, obviously, right? So changes are things that actually then change our results too. If we change the inputs, if we change the variables, we get different outcomes. And if I were you, I would test everything now, because your leverage is low. You want to find a system that works. You want to figure out how it works. You want to test so much that you brute force your way to success, because you don't lack information or strategies. What you lack is execution. A lot of people don't understand this or underestimate this, because they think that this one piece of advice that I'm going to get on this YouTube video, on this guy's guru channel, on this guy's free course, and that guy's paid $500 video course, you're not going to get that one piece of advice. And courses don't work, because every problem, every person is very individual, and everyone learns on different speed. And so you're not going to get this one piece of advice. There's no such thing as that one piece of advice. It's skills that differentiate you from getting ahead. And how do you learn those skills? By testing stuff and falling down and standing back up with everything in life, right? And so the more you test now, because obviously your leverage is low, you don't have a lot to lose right now. The more you test, then the more you can actually figure out what works and what doesn't. And then you just need to double down and test more in the direction of the stuff that has been working. And you still keep testing, but you're getting more and more results, and the results will start compounding. So it's unfortunately not enough to just show up. It's not enough to just be there, be consistent. You also have to improve. Actively, mindfully improve every single time that you do something. Every time that you make an ad, that you test a product, you have to be a little bit better than last time, every single time. Because if you are presented with the same behavior and if you're presented with the same situation and react to it with the same behavior, then you have not learned anything. You've learned nothing, absolutely nothing. And this is the type of video that you see nowhere on Guru YouTube, because they will all tell you how to find a winning product, how to do this and that. And I'm just telling you honestly, every business works. Every product is sellable. There's no such thing as winning products. You can make everything work. It's just your marketing skills. It comes down to your skill set at the end of the day, like always, to your leverage. Leverage is not only skills. Leverage can be other people's time. Leverage is money. Money is leverage. All these things allow you to get more out of doing a single repetition. That's leverage, and that's it. And that's all you need to improve on. Because I promise you, if you think you're working as hard, think you're the hardest working person, impossible. Like, look at China. There are kids working 18-hour days. You're not doing enough. You're not the hardest worker. Work is not how many hours of the day you work. Work is actually how many hours you do times how much you get out of doing it each time. The leverage part. And so outworking people really means out leveraging people. Makes sense, right? You have to have high leverage. And that's why you have to sit down. I was talking on the beginning. Once a month, once a week even, look at your schedule. What have you done and how much has that kind of stuff made you per hour? Start measuring your money, your income per hour and not per month or per year. Start looking at it per hour. And then look if those activities that you have been doing so far have made you less or more than others. Compare. And then double down on what worked better. Let's say you find something which makes you $50 an hour and you do most of that all the time. And then you realize at the end of this month, if you actually start doing this after this video, which I would highly suggest you do, then you realize you've done 2 hours of the thing, only 2 hours in that whole week that made you $100 an hour. Then guess what? The next week, you're only going to do that stuff and you're going to make double the money that you made last week. The problem is, if you never test new stuff, you will always be at that $100 an hour. So you have to test new stuff to find things, these 2 hours a week, these new things that work, that you could then double down on the week after that. This is why you have to improve and keep testing. And the amount of metrics that someone tracks actually show how powerful or how good someone is at a specific skill. Because I know it's very controversial to say, oh, track everything and be a nerd and all that kind of stuff. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying whatever business you're in right now, stop looking at revenue for being the only thing that you track, because that will eliminate you, especially as a beginner. If you don't have the kind of leverage so that it can be profitable in a very hard competitive business model like ecom, then of course you're not going to make it. If you look at money only, then you're going to lose that. It's going to seem like you're making negative dollars per hour, of course. But once you start tracking how much better your ads get, that is objectively measurable. Your hook rate, your hold rate, 25% video views, 50% video views, 75% video views, click-through rate, CPM, cost per click, obviously, all that kind of stuff. How much better do your websites get? Objectively measurable. AOV, lifetime value, conversion rate, revenue per visitor. You can track that, objectively measure that. Copywriting, same thing. Media buying. You can improve your leverage and track how much your leverage has improved over the last couple of weeks. And if it's not at the rate of growth that you would want it to be, then you're working on the wrong stuff. If you work all the hours of the day and the business is not growing, then you work on the wrong shit. This is something which Alex Ramosi said. And I love that quote. You're working on the wrong stuff. It is what it is. And of course you are, but at the end of the day, a big thing for me was I was not getting help, right? If you don't get help, okay, I'm going to cut that out. You need to stop consuming content. And so if you're a beginner and you have not made it yet, you have not figured it out, it seems like you're only losing money, not learning anything. Then one very important piece of advice that I'm going to give you is to stop consuming content right now. Stop it. It's not getting you where you want to get. It's not giving you the information that you're looking for. It's just wasting your time. And even this video, if you, after watching this video, don't implement this into your life, into your business, then what you've learned is absolutely nothing. You'll learn zero. I want you to understand that. And I want you to believe me there, because I really mean this. If you are then presented with the same situation, and you don't change your behavior even after knowing what I just told you, then you want not learned anything. Nothing. And this is the reality of most people that consume a lot of content and don't take action. The content isn't the problem, you are the problem. The videos are not lies necessarily. People don't really lie in videos. You know what people do? You, my friend, you're consuming it and not changing your behavior. You're not testing new stuff. You're not putting in the actual reps. It's about consistency. And it's about improving every single time. It's about showing up and improving. I had a call with a student of mine, and then I actually realized how much this is kind of applying to everyone. If you look at everyone that's successful in some business, what have they done? Just look at how they got there, not what they're doing now. How did they get there? They worked on one thing only, consistently, showed up every day, improved their leverage, and improved everything that they did on the same business for years. It's not about working 18-hour days now. This is what I said to my student. It's not about working 18 hours a day now. It's about doing e-com at 16 and still doing e-com at 21. That is consistency. That is how you make e-com work. That is also how you make sales work. That is how you make a social media marketing agency work. That is how you make OnlyFans management work. Nothing's easy. Trust me, there's no such thing as an easy way out. A lot of people look at crypto in a way at like, oh my God, this big opportunity. I'm going to give you one more piece of advice before ending this video. And that is, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. A lot of times these big opportunities, these crazy promises, you see two people become millionaires from the Trump coin. You see people becoming millionaires overnight for crypto, and then you want to do it yourself and you lose all your money. Those people, it is possible to get lucky, but with the same effort, you could also get into the casino and have fun at least while doing it, because it's not funny to just press long and short on crypto, buying or whatever. So you have to figure out how to make an actual business model work. And if we face it, like, trading is not really an actual business model. It's not really actually, it is a skill, but it's nothing that's like, it's just a player versus player stuff. You're not really providing any value to anyone. And hence, I don't think it's a real business. And so stick to e-com. It's a very good business model. I don't want to discourage you. It is very hard. You've not picked the easiest business model at all. I'm going to be honest with you, right? But stick to it because it does work and it is worth it. And it's extremely scalable. And always, to sum it up completely, totally, most important thing, every week, every month, sit down and change up your activities that you do to activities that make you more money. And the rest, the basics that make you less, you just outsource to people and pay someone to do it for you. With that being said, I want to say thank you for giving me your most important assets, which are your time and your attention. I'm truly grateful for that. And with that being said, I wish you a beautiful day.